Alright guys, so we're back here with your next update on the DMC Haro Master. We got a special guest with us today, Mr. Brooks. Brookie.
We're over here.
This is my nephew we've been talking about. Brookie.
I'll turn around.
He's camera shy, I guess.
He's heavy, man.
But yeah, so anyways, we've got some more parts in for the modifications on the Haro Master DMC.
I've been calling it the McCoy.
The McCoy, that's a cool one.
The McCoy.
Okay. The real McCoy.
I know.
And so in today's video, we're going to show you the parts we got in. We're going to start putting it together. So before we get started, though, as always, I want to remind you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and be sure to like the video. And then also be sure to check out rlosborn.com. We've got our new line of our Ring of Fire merchandise up on there. It's really cool, so definitely go check that out.
Look over here. Look at that.
Hey, Brookie.
What a good-looking kid, huh?
He's basically like my twin from when I was that age.
Yeah, if you guys want to know what Dylan looked like at this age, that's it.
So before we get started, was there anything you wanted to say or cover, or it's just going to be about a little customization today?
Well, the dropouts, because we got a 14mm rear axle in this Z-Coaster profile hub.
Yeah.
And so the dropouts have been, I cut the dropouts to 14mm, so those should fit right in there.
Perfect.
You know, we were talking, and I was saying when I was working on, I don't know what bike, and I was like, man, if someone would make every Allen head the same size, so you didn't have to go find that other Allen head. And John Bilgens actually did that. 6mm will get you through 90% of this bike. One Allen wrench.
Very cool.
And that's like a dream come true for me. So,
yeah.
Thank you, John.
All right, so I'm going to give you guys some close-ups on the different parts we just got in. And then we will break down everything we're going to do to the bike and start explaining it from there. So let's get into it.
No touchy.
It's so crazy right now.
He's kind of letting himself go.
Brookie. Hey, Brookie.
Gunk, 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 gunk. Gunk, 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 gunk. Take that,
So we got the Odyssey pegs for both front and rear. We picked up the Dicomp Nippon 990s for the front brake.
Are they
Dicomp
990s? Or high end or something?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're basically the
Got our
990s.
different brake cables and
Those are extra front brake cables, long, good quality brake cables.
Cool. And then
Smaller
a
sprocket.
smaller Merit sprocket, 28 tooth. Got some brake pads. And what's over here?
Those are
ends
cable
for
ends
the cables. Okay.
and cable cover ends.
Perfect.
What are we gonna do with this guy?
You want to put them down, let them roam? Okay, so this one wheel with the brown sidewall, that's the original.
Yep.
And then the two black rimmed wheels are the new ones we got in. So
Right.
what, they're profile rims or what?
No. These rims are probably exactly the same. That's an SE wheel. This is a Haro wheel, but
I
probably
see.
very similar. But this is a double walled rim, so it's a good rim to come on this bike.
Yeah. And the black rims came with profile hubs, and the rear is a profile Z coaster.
Right.
And then you're putting the Hookworm tires. What brand is Hookworm, or is that
Maxxis.
Maxxis Hookworm?
And these tires right here are 210, and the Maxxis are 2.50. A little bigger tire. I like big tires on big bikes. I think they look kind of cool. I don't know how this is going to look, but
Oh, they have like little dimples all the way around, huh?
Yeah, and they fit. You don't want them too high on either side where the tire is going to fit. There's a lip under here where the tire goes, so you don't want these too high. You just want it to be kind of even all the way around. See, like right there, it got low. Shifter.
Okay, so as you guys saw, we finished putting the tires together and RL just pumped them up with air. So now we're gonna start putting them on the bike.
So, did we already talk about this?
You mentioned it briefly.
So I cut these out. I cut them from the top. I took it out enough to make it 14 millimeters. And I cut it from the top. It looks like that's where it had the most meat. And that's why I went there, because it had excess meat. I didn't want to thin out these bottom ones with it being aluminum.
Wait, so you just shaved some off, you're saying?
Yeah, I cut out probably an 1/8 inch.
Oh.
Maybe a little less.
Okay.
I had it taped and more. I need you to hold the bike up while I figure this whole deal out. I like the flat black pegs.
Yeah, those are cool.
Okay. Now if you could lift up the front end. Okay. Okay.
Oh wow, that's close.
Whew. Oh, these dies. I think I'm gonna need my old pegs. These are hitting the dropouts.
Dude, how do you keep doing that with the
Can you pull these off? I don't touch it. Can you pull the forks up? So much for the honesty pegs.
What's wrong with them?
They got to be shaved.
Is that enough space between the tire and the frame?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Like, could it scrape from it when you land on a jump?
Might, if the tire grows at high speeds. Okay, just lift it up so I can spin it. It clears, but barely. That's okay. I just want to see how the front big tire is going to look. Okay, now I'm going to put this in here.
So the front wheel is on, and now it's time for the back. This hub has the Z coaster on it, right?
This is a Z coaster with a 14 millimeter axle.
Female axle, right?
Male. Male axle have female nuts.
Oh.
Big decision. Do I run the flat black Odyssey or the Bully gloss black? Because these won't match, but it look kind of cool.
Yeah, well, because I think we're going to shave down the other flat black one so you can put them on the front eventually.
Yeah, true.
And so why isn't this one like the internal thread or bolt or whatever?
I don't know. Well, it doesn't need to be because it's 14 millimeter. This is probably heavier because it's a bigger axle. So maybe, they figured that you're going to take more abuse on the back and this should be bigger. I don't know. Weight always seems to kind of come into it. Okay. Oh, that's not a problem. Okay, hold on.
We're gonna need those, what are those, chain stays or whatever? What's the thing where it's like it allows you to adjust where it sits in there?
Oh, the axle locks or whatever?
Yeah. You might want to scoot it back a little bit.
Is it close up there?
Like 1/4 inch, yeah.
That's more than the front. Let's see.
That's good right there.
Good on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if this thing moves. Watch the tire.
Yeah, because the tire doesn't look very centered right now.
Well, it's not going to be centered on all points.
Mm.
Like it's centered down here, but not up here, huh?
It's good.
How's the clearance in the front?
Right here?
No, here. The front of the tire.
Yeah, like 1/4.
I gotta still put the chain on and adjust it.
Let's see what that looks like. That looks cool.
Kind of burly, huh?
Yeah. Very cool. Ah! That was close.
Ever since I made this thing for a 3.5 inch tire, it's been like hell on trying to make it work. I'm gonna put this sprocket on here. It's gonna be a lot smaller. I think cool sprocket. I like minimalistic things. Minimal. It just looks cleaner, you know? And I'll bet money that that's a 6mm.
So this is a 28 tooth. What was the other one?
I don't know. Hold on. 36. It was 36/16. I believe that other one was a 16. Would you count this?
No, I did not.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
9/28. 6mm.
Really?
Yeah. Man, that's a dream.
What's the difference between a solid spoke and one with all those cutouts? Or
Yeah, mag?
I mean a sprocket.
Nothing.
It's just for looks. It doesn't do anything performance.
Looks or weight. Okay,
That
so this is
silver
gonna
one,
be-
it always reminds me of like a saw, like a saw blade, you know?
This has got to go like this.
Hello?
What?
Did you hear me?
No.
I said that silver one, it always reminds me of a saw blade.
I know, right? Like from a horror movie or something.
Yeah.
This thing shouldn't need any spacers.
I think the black on black with that like turquoise blue looks really cool, actually.
Yeah, kind of, huh? $6mm.
Makes it easy.
So cool, man. I don't have to go dig for a wrench or anything. Here's another one. 6mm, 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 6mm. That's an old man's dream right there.
Is your B-hole 6mm?
You know, I haven't measured it. Okay, I'm just gonna put that on loose. See how this goes. These are Haro cranks. These look cool. 175s.
What does that mean?
It's 175, I believe, millimeters, the length. I'm gonna probably go to 165 just to give you, you know, a little more. Like if you're doing wheelies, you have a shorter crank, your legs won't get so bent, and you have more clearance from your tire.
Yeah, now this thing looks like it'd be good for dirt jumping, wheelies.
Man, the black on turquoise is really cool.
Yeah, it's clean. So you're gonna throw the standard bars on there?
Yeah.
You have a set of big bike bars on the way though, right?
Yeah, from, I don't know where.
eBay?
Yeah.
Do you know like what kind of big bike it came off? Like, are they SE?
They're supposed to be brand new. I didn't know you could buy brand new stuff on eBay, but
What, do you know what brand the bars are?
they're SE.
Very cool.
But they're big honking bars, which is what I think we have on our bikes. Not super big honking. There's a super big honking in the. It's they're taller and they have a tighter pinch here at the bottom.
Huh. So it'll be the same bars we have on our big bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, they look, so far they've looked the best. Kink has some nice bars. And actually, Isaac had knee savers on his McCoy 26-inch, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
So these are Magura HS33 black hydraulic rim brakes. So the reason why I'm trying these is because I rode a bike in Seaside, a couple bikes that had these on there. The braking power is unbelievable, just unbelievable. They have these supports right here and here so that it doesn't open up your frame. These things are so powerful, it can actually open your frame a little bit. A lot of e-brakes do that. But the coolest thing is you don't have to run a disc down here, so if you want to grind, you don't have to worry about snapping your disc. So now I don't know how these are going to work, but so this is pretty cool. This bolt, you can see right in here how it's shaved. It's quick release.
Oh, right.
So I gotta figure out how deep that has to go. Oh, yeah, and this is cool about Magura. Magura put everything on a hex. I think what you call those hex heads. These things are a little trippy at first. Only reason why it's a little weird is because I've never worked on these before. Are we all the way down? Yep. So we got that thing in there. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention, so why go for, now this thing is going to tuck in, it'll be clean. And for right now, because the hydraulic gyros seem to have a lot of issues, I'm just going to run enough cord around here, enough cable to have, for my bars to spin one time, 360. And with hydraulic brakes, you shouldn't have any tightening when you spin your bars on the rear end. But the reason why I want such a powerful brake is because when I'm doing wheelies, I want to just have one finger on my lever. And if I'm going to go back, I want one finger to be able to save me. I don't like moving all my fingers or having them off the grips. I want just one finger. And just having precise brakes like that just should make it a lot nicer to ride. And they should be so powerful that, you know, they're going to feel the same every day. You get a little dust on your rim, I don't think they're really going to care. It'll still work really well. So I don't want to have to bleed them all the time and go through all that crap. So yeah, and I really, the most important thing is on V-brakes, the V-brakes will spread the frame. Even cable actuated V-brakes will spread your frame a little bit. And with this support bar here and this one under here, it doesn't move. So should be good.
Cool. What other plans do you have for this bike? What's our next steps, would you say?
Well, if I could have it all my way, I would add maybe quarter to half-inch clearance all the way around, quarter inch all the way around here, so the tire, you can run a bigger tire, and if you get a little bend in your wheel, it's not going to start rubbing. I would really like to have this brake mounted on the front, and I think it'll fit. I think it can work, but that's going to take more studs welded down here and fitting it and a bunch of other junk. But
we're going to grind down the other pair of flat black pegs so you can put them on the front.
Right. More room. Now this is just if for some reason everything worked out between me and Haro, John and Joe, and I got to pick my own bike, I would have a fatter rear end for bigger tires, just a little bit. And I want, fatter dropouts up here. These dropouts are pretty fat. Maybe even a little fatter since they're aluminum, but the chromoly ones here in the front need to be a little thicker. They just give you that comfortable feeling when you see them thick dropouts. You don't have to worry. The bars will be different.
Yeah, you got those big bike bars on the way.
Big bike bars, and we're gonna hopefully be able to have a seat post that has the knurls, so it rocks when you tighten it, but it's on rails, so you get all your adjustment and it does not move. I mean, you'd have to drop a building on it to move it. That's another one. This is a nice seat right here.
Yeah.
I'm not real happy about the clamps, but.
And what about, is there going to be a gyro eventually, or? Yeah,
Toby Henderson, I think he owns a company called Box, which makes some really cool looking V-brakes, and I'd like to try them with a gyro, but, I just hate all those cables that come off a gyro, and so I'm going to see if I can get by without one.
You said really a hydro gyro, right?
Hydro gyros, I called a bunch of companies, and most of the people that were making them are not making them. One company told me to just quit because they couldn't keep it from leaking. Guys that are running them say they have to bleed them every 2 weeks, and they're kind of spongy. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that's made one. I have ideas for a hydraulic gyro that I think would work.
Very cool.
Different from what they're doing. There's a lot of new changes coming out with internal gyros and all that. So more clearance here. I think a fatter fork, just a little bit fatter fork. Maybe not. I don't know. It kind of works with these tires. And a little steeper head angle. But I got to ride this first, you know. It's at 72-degree head angle. A little bit of offset. And these offsets are cool because when you grind, you don't have to worry about your fork leg hanging down and hitting on the pipe. Not that I know anything about grinding, but it's cool that a rider put this bike together, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Very cool. So I guess that's pretty much it for today's update, right?
Did we talk about the 990s?
We did, yes.
Talked about that. I don't know if they're going to give me the braking power that I want. According to Isaac, they probably won't. And and so last night I talked to Isaac and Craig from Big Bike BMX. Those guys are really cool, good guys. And we just talked about this bike and all the changes, and we were all on the same page. We all want the same changes. We all want the same thing. And so I'm going to try to make it close, pretty close.
Yeah.
And
before we go, let's show him the watch.
Oh, yeah. So a good friend of mine, William Johnson.
Do you want to bring it over here?
It's pinned.
Oh, okay, I'll bring the camera. Mr. Faux Show.
Mr. Faux Show, William Johnson. He's on the page all the time. Gave me this swatch. And I think William is 55. And he wore this thing in high school.
Wow.
Right? Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
But also William is one of the guys that I talked to, probably the main guy that I talked to about structural things, because he is a college-educated welder, and he welded professionally. And we talked about all kinds of supports back here, supports on the forks, and he came up with some really good ideas. So, I'm so lucky to have those guys. There's all kinds of guys that help me out with all this stuff. So
yeah, and then also I guess we're gonna have to do an update somewhat shortly on the General because there's been an update with the decals.
Yes. So Shay, who is the artist, he did the Ring of Flames or Ring of Fire
designs.
He finally said, all right, he found a guy in Australia. So the stickers are being made in Australia. Can you believe that? And we have been through so many people. But he sticks with it, man. He doesn't want to give any quality away. And this guy sent us a rough. Wasn't exactly what we wanted. It was just a rough to show us. And it looked really good.
Yeah.
So I think this guy is going to be the one. And then after we get the stickers from Australia, they go back to Washington. Brian Bennett and Dave will paint the frame. Stickers will go on it. And then we'll start putting it back together.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to give him a little update because we haven't done a video in a while on that bike. people are starting to ask, like, where is that thing, you know? But it's just been the designing of the decals has been taking a while. But it's because they're just they're complicated and really high, what do you call it? High quality, really innovative, really.
They're innovative, and they're, I mean, man, it's like Shay's artwork is like kind of beyond what most people are used to using.
Yeah.
And so the printers are having to adapt to what Shay has presented because the graphics will be all Shay.
Yeah.
We both agreed on the color, but he sticks with it, man. He does not give up. He sticks with it. He is a total professional. And Brian Bennett's been helpful. William, Eric Wolf, who else? Pat Trantham comes in here.
Yeah.
Pat's got total common sense. We talk about all this stuff, and he goes, well, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that. He's good at seeing the lines.
Yeah.
Which, that's one thing I wanted to mention. Did we already talk about the lines of the bike?
I don't think so.
So the lines, you know, these lines, right? How they drop down. When we were building Harleys, it's critical, man. The lines have to work. The head angle, the track and trail, you know, the degrees you put the forks out to the head angle, depending on how high you lifted the frames, all that has an area where it all comes together and works really good. And so that's what I'm really kind of looking for on this bike. I want the lines to come out. I want it to look good when it's sitting in your garage, like you want to ride it, you know? And the more I customize this thing, the more I want to ride it. So I think I'm hopefully going to hit that. But that's an important thing. The lines of a bike is really crucial.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that pretty much wraps up today's video then. We'll be back shortly with our next update once some more of the parts get in. And we start figuring out like what brakes we're going to use and stuff. And I guess, is there anything else you want to say before we go?
Looks like the Magura, well, it's going to be close, but it'll be workable. I really want these things to work. Yeah, this profile Z coaster, when you're just pedaling, it's like a freewheel. So you can hear the ticking, there's no drag. So if you're out on a cruise, it's just like a freewheel. Go backwards, the pedals go back. But if you want to disengage the freewheel, you go to quarter kick back, and then you have a free coaster. So you can roll backwards without your pedals moving. Now, yeah, I don't know, I thought about that. I'm like, oh God, I gotta learn something new. But I talked to this guy and he goes, man, it was hard at first to learn it, but that's all he runs now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. There's a lot of changes going on with free coasters, but I'm really interested in trying this thing out.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll show them, we'll videotape us using that and just, I guess, give them our review on it and how we like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but there's not too much going on here. It's all right here in the sprocket. It's got a big outboard bearing, a lot of support. I mean, you know, Profile makes nice stuff. So, should be interesting.
Very cool.
I think that's probably it, right?
Cool. Yeah, then I guess we'll see you guys next time.
All right, you guys have a good one. See ya.